Welcome back to the Pre-Vegans podcast. In today's episode, we'll explore the distinctions between vegan and plant-based lifestyles, and later, we'll hear an inspiring vegan origin story from the renowned chef Babette Davis. Now, here's your host, Sean A. Russell.
Hey everybody, I'm so thrilled to have you with us today. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the podcast and share it with someone embarking on their plant-based journey. Now let's dive right into our mailbag. Ryan from New York City asks,
how do I avoid common deficiencies like B12 and iron when I go vegan?
Great question, Ryan. A well-planned vegan diet provides all of the nutrients your body needs, including B12 and iron. B12, while primarily found in animal products, it can easily be obtained through fortified plant-based foods like nutritional yeast, plant milks, cereals, and meat alternatives. You can also take a B12 supplement to ensure optimal levels. Iron. Found in lentils, chickpeas, tofu, spinach, quinoa, and pumpkin seeds, and best absorbed when paired with vitamin C-rich foods like bell peppers, citrus, and strawberries. Now, those are just two items, but make sure you continue listening to the Pre-Vegans podcast for more tips in the future. And also check out some of our past episodes where we've touched on this topic more in depth. And if you're still figuring things out, supplements can be a great option to help bridge the gap. Always check with a nutritionist or a physician who understands plant-based nutrition to make sure you're getting everything your body needs. Regular blood tests can also help you stay on track. The power of plants is real. Keep fueling your body with the best nature has to offer. Now, let's dive into the topic of vegans versus plant-based.
So, you're exploring a diet without animal products, and now you're hearing the terms vegan and plant-based thrown around like they're the same thing. But are they? Let's clear it up. At first glance, vegan and plant-based might seem interchangeable, but they have very different meanings. Plant-based, a diet focused on food choices. A plant-based diet is just that, a way of eating that prioritizes plant foods and minimizes or eliminates animal products. Someone who is plant-based might focus on whole, natural foods like fruits, vegetables, grains, legumes, nuts, and seeds. But here's the key difference. Being plant-based is about what you eat, not why you eat it. Some people go plant-based for health reasons, to lower cholesterol, reduce inflammation, or improve gut health. Others might still wear leather, use animal-tested products, or occasionally eat honey, because for them, it's a dietary choice, not an ethical stance. A plant-based eater could still consume occasional animal products, like fish or eggs, while prioritizing plants the majority of the time. Vegan, a lifestyle rooted in ethics. Now, veganism is more than just food. It's a lifestyle philosophy centered around avoiding all forms of animal exploitation. Yes, a vegan eats a 100% plant-based diet, but it goes beyond food. Being vegan means choosing cruelty-free products, avoiding animal-tested cosmetics, saying no to leather, wool, and silk, and even being mindful of entertainment choices, like avoiding zoos or circuses that exploit animals. The motivation behind veganism is ethical. It's about reducing harm to animals, the planet, and even other humans affected by industrial animal agriculture. Other diets and lifestyles in the same spectrum. Now, let's talk about some other dietary choices that often get mixed up in the conversation. Pre-vegan, in transition. If you're actively reducing animal products, learning about veganism, and making gradual changes, but you're not fully committed yet, you might be what we call pre-vegan. This term acknowledges that going vegan is a journey, and most people don't do it overnight. Maybe you've ditched dairy but still eat eggs, or you're vegan at home but struggling when eating out. That's okay. The goal is progress, not perfection. Flexitarian, mostly plant-based, but not strict. A flexitarian is someone who primarily eats plant-based but occasionally eats meat or dairy. This approach is often for health reasons, focusing on reducing, not eliminating animal products. It's a flexible way of eating that allows for occasional indulgences without strict rules. Pescatarian. No meat, but still eats fish. A pescatarian eats a vegetarian diet plus seafood. Many pescatarians believe fish is a healthier source of protein, though research shows plant-based sources can meet all protein needs. Some see it as a transition step toward vegetarianism or veganism. Vegetarian, no meat, but still includes dairy and eggs. Vegetarians avoid meat, poultry, and fish, but still consume eggs and dairy. Some choose this for health, religious, or ethical reasons, but they do not avoid all animal exploitation like vegans do. Variations of vegetarianism include lacto-vegetarian, allows dairy, but no eggs. Ovo-vegetarian, allows eggs but no dairy. Lacto-ovo-vegetarian, allows both eggs and dairy. Raw vegan, no cooked foods, only raw plants. A raw vegan diet consists of only raw or minimally heated plant-based foods, typically kept under 118 degrees Fahrenheit, 48 degrees Celsius, to preserve nutrients and enzymes. Some raw vegans eat fully uncooked meals, while others include dehydrated foods, sprouted grains, and fermented vegetables. This diet is often adopted for health and digestive benefits. Fruitarian, primarily fruit-based diet. Fruitarians eat a diet mostly or entirely made up of fruit, with some nuts and seeds. This is an extreme version of veganism that focuses on consuming only foods that can be harvested without harming the plant, based on ethical and environmental beliefs. While some people thrive on it, others find it nutritionally restrictive. So, which one are you? If you're focusing on diet alone for health reasons, you might be plant-based. If you're shifting your entire lifestyle to avoid animal exploitation, you're vegan. If you're cutting back on meat but not eliminating it, you might be flexitarian. If you're in the process of learning and transitioning, you might be pre-vegan. And here's the thing. You don't have to pick a label right away. If you're just getting started, it's okay to be in transition. Most vegans start plant-based. They make dietary changes first, then, as they learn more, their values shift. So wherever you are on the journey, whether you're plant-based for health, vegan for the animals, pescatarian, flexitarian, or just figuring it out, you're moving in the right direction. And that's what matters, because the more plants we eat, the less harm we cause. And that's a win for everyone.
Hopefully you guys have a little bit more clarity when it comes to plant-based versus vegan. I know this is something that comes up a lot in conversations that I have. But now I'm excited to introduce our vegan origin story featuring Chef Babette Davis. Chef Babette is a celebrated vegan chef, fitness enthusiast, and motivational speaker. At 74, she exemplifies vitality and health, attributing her well-being to a plant-based lifestyle. She co-owns Stuff I Eat, a vegan restaurant in Inglewood, California, and has inspired many through her journey to health and wellness. Let's hear her story.
I met my husband, Rondell Davis, in the spring of 1990. I was 39 years old, going to be 40 years old in December. And we went on a date. The first date was a trip to Griffith Park. I had never been to Griffith Park, and he used to run the hills at Griffith Park. Now, this one run up to about 1,600 feet, and he ran the whole thing backwards. I'm struggling walking. After the workout, he prepares a meal for me, and it was my very first vegan meal. Mm-hmm. It consisted of basmati brown rice. I had never even heard of basmati brown rice. It had some type of cracked gluten-free bread, string beans, a salad, and pan-fried tofu. I kept calling the tofu chicken. It had such an incredible texture to it. that reminded me of chicken. I was a chicken lover. And after I ate this meal, generally when I ate, I would always have a problem with belching or acid reflux, just feeling really crappy after I ate anything. And after I ate this meal, I actually felt pretty amazing. And he shared with me that same day 2 books. And the books were Fit for Life, volumes 1 and 2. His volume 1 was a hard copy, and it was signed by the authors. So he wanted it back very quickly. So that meant I had to get through that book. Now, I wasn't a massive reader at the time, but I took that book, and The Mucusless Diet Healing System by Professor Arnold Ehret was the second book. And after I read The Master Cleanse and began to understand that the problems I was faced with in terms of food digestion was because of the combinations more than anything. I was eating the food incorrectly. Now, whoever thinks about there's a correct way to eat food? But I did learn by reading that information. And that's why I always say knowledge is power, because it completely and totally changed my life. I adapted a lot of the suggestions in the book, and they became my lifestyle, if you will. I eat melons alone. I never knew that melons shouldn't be eaten with other fruit. Every barbecue I ever went to, Grandma always made a big fruit bowl and had little balls of melon, all kind of fruit in the same bowl. That I never knew that there was an acid fruit, a subacid fruit, a sweet fruit. Melon should be eaten alone. Fruit should be eaten on an empty stomach. First thing in the morning is a good time to eat your fruit because it's like you've been fasting all night. Never heard of that kind of stuff before. Normally, all of those things were eaten together. And drinking. My mother was a Kool-Aid person. So it was full of sugar and Kool-Aid, and we ate it with the meal. And that's kind of how I grew up. All wrong for healthy digestion. So that in itself started a healthy journey, just learning how to eat. And the fact that I never was big on a lot of flesh, especially when it came to cows and pigs. Now, I did eat chitlins. I grew up eating those things during the holidays. A lot of refined sugar. But steaks, I had gaps in my teeth. I had to wear braces for a long time. And the flesh would always lodge in the teeth. And it was always extremely uncomfortable. It's not to say that I didn't like the taste of it. I just didn't enjoy eating steaks and stuff like that. So chicken was my thing. But man, after deciding to transition, after reading all the information in the books and the mucusless diet, not understanding that all of the eczema and the asthma and everything that I was going through, every single month, I broke out in my face with a rash. I had a doctor that just gave me, what was that medicine that every cortisone, some kind of little cortisone cream? And every month I just made sure I had a refill. So when I got my monthly rash in my face, I could just put my cream. But you know what? After I cleaned up the diet, got off the refined sugar, dyes, preservatives, Fit for Life Volume 2 explained to me about toothpaste, deodorant, aluminum. All of that kind of stuff came to me out of these books. And that is why I go hard on, don't try to do anything without understanding why you're doing it. You will succeed if you really get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I give thanks to Ron for being such a sharer, because he was a new person in my life. He didn't have to tell me nothing, but that's who he is. If he meets you, he's gonna share something with you, and God bless him for that. Sharing is important, and man, that's where my journey started, 1990. In 2023, he and I decided to open a restaurant. And all we did was we decided after, first we had ourselves a huge, like I'd say, hot dog cart, 15 feet. And we'd go over to Agape Spiritual Center on Sundays. And we began to accumulate block-long lines. And we were serving our wild rice tacos, enchilada pie, mostly similar things that we serve right in the restaurant today. And people were really loving the food. So then eventually we found a spot on Market Street. The landlord was really gracious, opened the doors to us for little or nothing. We had about 3 people that assisted us financially in getting in. And 2008, we opened the doors, and we made it through COVID. And we've changed a lot of lives, I like to think, and we've helped a lot of people. We've done our part, if you will, in terms of sharing our knowledge and taking care of our home. The planet is as important as all of us. We're one with all of this. And to say, I'm only thinking about myself, like I have somebody that I'm very fond of that just told me, I like salmon. I like wild-caught salmon. That's the only thing, animal flesh I eat, but I like the way it makes me feel, and I did my research on it and all that. And the only thing I could think was, and the only person you're thinking about is yourself. You like the salmon, you like the way it makes you feel. Everything else is all plant-based. But what about the salmon? Where are you getting the salmon from? Does the salmon have worms in it? Mm-hmm. How do you know that these people say they're taking care of the salmon? How do you know they're taking care of the salmon that way? And how do you know that the salmon is not... for me, it's not just about me. I'm just one with all of this. So it's got to be about all of it. There is a whole to this. I'm just a part of the whole.
Thank you, Chef Babette, for sharing your inspiring journey. For our listeners, if you're looking for support on your plant-based path, check out the Pre-Vegans Challenge. It's a 111-day program designed to provide guidance and connect you with a community of like-minded individuals. Now, today's question of the day: what's one plant-based source of iron? The first person to answer this will receive a complimentary 3-month membership to our Vegans Explore Club. Send your responses to contact@vegansexplore.com or leave a voicemail at prevegans.com. Until next time, stay kind, stay curious, and stay compassionate. See you soon.
You're listening to the Pre-Vegans podcast found on the Vegans Explore Network. For more episodes and to learn how to participate in the Pre-Vegans Challenge, be sure to visit prevegans.com. Today's episode was edited and produced by Sean A. Russell.